Prayer is a skill that takes practice. A moderate imagination is the main requirement. Parades and needless repetitions have no place during prayer. Its exercise demands serenity and mental balance. Remember that prayer is done in private, and that your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you for being honest about it. So do not repeat yourself in vain. The customary rites used during prayer are nothing more than superstitions made up to give prayer a solemn appearance. Even people who practice the art of prayer occasionally lack knowledge of the laws that regulate it. They mistake the letter for the spirit and attribute success to the rites. The basis for prayer is faith, but understanding must pervade faith for it to have that quality, which it lacks when it stands alone. So, acquire wisdom, and with all your resources, acquire comprehension. This video aims to bring the unknown to the known by illustrating the instances in which prayers are answered and those in which they are not. It specifies the conditions for prayer as well as laws that are merely a continuation of our observations. The universal law of reversibility serves as the foundation for these claims. Mechanical motion caused by speech has been understood for a very long time, long before anyone even thought of the idea of an inverse transformation. In other words, whether or not man is able to reverse the transformation of a force, he recognizes that for a very long period, electricity was produced by friction, without ever having the notion that friction may in turn be produced by electricity. All force transformations, however, are undual. For instance, if heat can cause mechanical motion, then heat can also cause mechanical motion. Similar to how electricity creates magnetism, magnetism too has the ability to create electric currents. Voice can be reproduced by undulating currents if voice can produce them. This law is significant because, once the direct transformation has been proven, it enables prediction of the inverse transformation. You could know what state you could accomplish if you were to awaken that sensation inside of yourself, if you knew how you would feel once you reached your goal. It is based on a knowledge of the law of inverse transformation that the counsel to pray as though you already have what you are requesting is given. If your realized prayer causes you to experience a particular sensation or level of awareness, then your unrealized prayer must cause you to experience that same sensation or level of awareness in reverse. Because force transformations can all be undone. Always behave as if your wishes have come true. The conviction that you already are and have what you previously desired must be fostered. Thinking about how happy you would be if your aim and achieved reality allowed you to live, move, and exist in the knowledge that your wishes had been realized can help you achieve this. If the emotion of the request being fulfilled is assumed and maintained, it must objectify the state that would have given rise to it. This law explains why one's faith is the source of hope. His argument that things not seen are equal to things not seen and things not seen by us becoming visible is supported by evidence of things not seen and by the logic behind it. Assume that your request has been granted, and maintain this belief up until it manifests in reality. If a psychological condition may result from a physical reality, then a psychological condition may result from a physical reality. If the effect A can result from cause B, then cause A can result from cause B. Because of this, I can assure you that you will receive whatever it is you ask for when you pray if you believe you have already received it. Consider how lovely it would be to view the mountains or the feet of someone who brought the poor bishop redemption, who brought the glad news of good. Send the imagined, subjective representation of the person you wish to help into your mind's eye, and ask him to affirm your request until you actually see him carry it out. This is a really effective way to break good news to someone. As a result, inside of him, the vibratory equivalent of the affirmed condition awakens and never stops vibrating until its function is accomplished. What you want done and who you want to do it with don't matter. As soon as you proclaim something to be done, results appear. The conviction that you already are and have what you previously desired must be fostered. Thinking about the happiness you would have if your goals were accomplished is an easy way to do this. You must assume and maintain the condition that would have resulted in that sense in order for you to experience the sensation of having your wants fulfilled. This principle explains why Jesus says that things that cannot be seen become visible and things unseen become visible, and why faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. Assume that your request has been granted, and maintain this belief up until it manifests in reality. If a psychological condition may result from a physical reality, then a psychological condition may result from a physical reality. If the effect A can result from cause B, then cause A can result from cause B. I thus declare to you that anything you ask for will come to pass once you believe that you have got it. How lovely upon the mountains are the feet of him who publishes of peace, who brings if good news of good, who publishes if salvation, and who brings you with good tidings of good. This is a highly powerful approach to announce of salvation. As a result, inside of him, the vibratory equivalent of the affirmed condition awakens and never stops vibrating until its function is accomplished. What you want done and who you want to do it with don't matter. As soon as you proclaim something to be done, results appear. Failure only happens if you deny the truth of your assertion, or if the subject doesn't want the firm state for himself or someone else. In the latter event that it existed in you, the operator, the state would acknowledge that the seemingly innocent practice of talking to oneself is the most powerful form of prayer. The best way to pray for a disagreement is to have a mental discussion with another person's fictitious image. When you approach someone objectively, you open the door for him to act in a way that you find offensive. If you don't change or reverse your order before the meeting, I'll assume that something has changed. Sadly, man tends to forget his subjective differences and ongoing verbal conflicts with other people. Is that a loss that justifies the challenges and tragedies in his life? Man creates himself from his own imagination in the same way that mental conflicts result in physical conflicts, and cheerful mental conversations result in tangible manifestations of good news. If you want to achieve a certain state for yourself, but find it difficult to accept what your senses are telling you, ask a friend to imagine you in that state, and ask him to mentally confirm it. Without his awareness or agreement, this will cause him to form the subconscious belief that you are what you mentally confirmed. Because this assumption is subconscious, it will hold true until its intended outcome is achieved. It wants to awaken in you its vibratory correlate, whose frequency, when it awakens in you, identifies itself as an undeniable fact. Another tremendously potent way to pray for oneself is to follow Job's example, who found that his own imprisonment was lifted as he prayed for his friends. Concentrate on a friend and imagine that person is talking to you and letting you know that they have something that is either half of what you want or something similar. Enjoy manifesting.